I'm probably the only Muslim that will admit this. When they're shutting down Times Square, when they're blocking off the streets, when they're doing the down 5 times a day, it's to assert dominance. It's to assert dominance, is to let people know that we're coming.
Now this is a practicing card-carrying Muslim man rightfully self-critiquing his own community. Right?
I am Anila Ali. I stand before you as a Muslim American Pakistani, friend of the Jewish people. The war to destroy the Jews and the Jewish homeland must end once and for all.
Oh yes! What a profoundly peace-loving statement to make at a rally. What a great Muslim she is for the enemies of Islam. It would be sad if these are the only heroes we have in the Muslim world, right? Well, worry not. There's a lot more than where that came from.
Is it fair to call you a Muslim?
Proudly.
Is fighting against an Islamism that affects every single country in the world.
Israelis have to recognize that their land certificate comes from God and make that argument unashamedly.
And what we found is a land of coexistence, diversity, and peace and prosperity. That's what we found.
You cannot be Muslim more than me.
जितनी मोहब्बत मुझे सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम से है, उतनी ही इज्जत और उतनी ही मोहब्बत प्रभु राम के लिए भी।
रूबिका जी इसको मुनाफिकत कहते हैं।
We have a lot to learn from all these people about Jahannam, especially that 7th layer over there, saboteurs of the Muslim community. Those are the people we'll be talking about today. I won't be mentioning any world leaders or governments or scholars because I still want to visit a lot of countries. I think I already blew my chances with this one though. Still, much love to my Jordanian viewers. While you're at it, please subscribe and join our Discord server as well. Links in the description. So what is a Muslim sellout? I don't mean confused or ignorant Muslims who make idiotic comments. The way I'm defining Muslim sellouts is as follows. A self-proclaimed Muslim who makes a career out of attacking Islam and Muslims to kowtow to an anti-Muslim audience. I cannot call them apostates per Islamic guidelines unless they themselves publicly renounce Islam. They are still claiming to be Muslim, so per Islamic guidance, I have to call them Muslims, despite how much they contribute to endangering millions of Muslims with their stupidity. And while sellouts have existed throughout humanity, in this video, we'll focus our timeline on the 21st century. So why do these Muslim sellouts exist? Who are they? And why are they so utterly useless to humanity? Well, to answer this, let's start with America post-2001, after that really bad thing that happened that I can't talk about because of YouTube guidelines.
I'll never forget, when I first heard about 9/11, it was September 5th, 2001. I was in a cave in Pakistan, and I was just like, no. This is a bad idea, guys. This is a bad idea.
A lot of simple-minded Americans, mainly neoconservatives, had little to no exposure of the Muslim world. Many of them had the idea that Islam is evil, Muslims are backward, and the Muslim world just needs to become Western. That'll solve everything, even though it's imploding their own civilization. So these jokers voted for America to launch 2 full-scale invasions into the Muslim world.
There is no just cause for an invasion of Iraq. Well, that may be. But what we're all forgetting is anyone who doesn't want to go to war is gay. I want to go to war. Oh, yes, we should definitely go.
I was the first one who wanted to go to war.
But they then realized that even if you invade Muslim lands, the Muslim inhabitants of those countries didn't seem to care what some Western guy has to tell them. These neoconservatives realized that these savage Muslims were not going to reform if a white guy was telling them they are all backward people.
You're not backwards.
Their entire invasion project was not working, and they needed a justification for all the money and lives they were wasting. So what was their ingenious solution? Sellouts. brown, Muslim, suit-wearing sellouts. These aren't the orthodox, turban-wearing jihadi extremists. No. These are the moderate, Western-compatible Muslims.
So we always think of you as a moderate Muslim, an American guy.
They say all the exact things the enemies of Islam say, but with a Muslim name.
You are a hero of mine. Oh, you really are, the way you stand up for the things that I've been trying to say, but it means so much more coming from you, because I'm not a Muslim and you are.
These are the true heroes of the Muslim world.
These are men of honor. These are men of honor.
So let's introduce some of these sellouts of the 2000s. Hero number 1, Zuhdi Jasser, who ironically doesn't seem to possess any zuhd at all. Zuhdi, Syrian-American doctor, exemplar of the moderate American Muslim, who seems to lie about everything Islam-related the same way the neocon geniuses do.
Well, certainly the leadership and most of the interpretations that dominate our faith community are homophobic and still in the 12th and 13th century, but they also have a problem with any vulnerable minority, and when it comes to women, vulnerable majorities too.
Oh wow, what a great spokesperson for minority rights. He really cares about every minor inconvenience a Muslim woman may have to face in the Muslim world. But when they're getting by who cares about that? When one of the world's greatest sporting icons, a legend of America, and one of the greatest Muslims America has ever produced was on his deathbed, our Muslim hero Zuhdi decides to tweet that he's a draft dodger. Are there any limits to the heroic attitudes of our man Zuhdi here?
Our biggest threat is actually the Muslims that are internal, that are in Homeland Security, in military, etc., that have not been vetted for their loyalty to the global movement of political Islam.
Yes! Fire all Muslims from U.S. government positions! Why don't we all publicly thank the New York Police Department for spying on our masjids while we're at it? Just like our hero Zuhdi thanked them. Our man even testified to the U.S. government to not punish racist Karens from reporting Muslims just because they have long beards or speak Arabic. According to Zuhdi, the racist idiot who reported this Muslim for saying inshallah on the plane is a hero. So if Zuhdi seems to hate mainstream Muslims and the Muslim community, what does he consider himself?
By using Afghanistan and our families in Syria and others, over there they truly are threatened by the militants and they are the victims. But here, us reformers are the victims of you non-violent Islamists.
Oh yeah, see, here's the deal. He and all the other sellouts of the world portray the Muslim world into two categories. The radical Islamists, where they lump in pretty much all mainstream Muslims, imams, scholars, and masjids. And then, of course, there's the reformers, which is him and anyone else who is willing to be the mouthpiece for these neocon enemies of Islam and humanity overall, since the Muslim community disowns him for selling them out.
The fact you know nothing about going on in the Muslim community because you're rejected by our community.
Guess who welcomes this Muslim hero with open arms?
There's radical Muslims. There's people that take it, I have a very good friend, Zuhdi Jasser in Arizona, who is calling for a reformation.
A man is best known by the company he keeps, and this man's a true plastic American patriot.
They talk about a virus, and that virus is what? It's not lone wolves. It's a global movement of Islamopatriots that will die for theocracy versus those of us that would die for freedom and liberty like America.
Zuhdi Jasser went to town riding on a donkey, stuck some dollars up his and blamed it on Mamdani. Zuhdi Jasser, keep it up. Zuhdi Jasser, dandy. Mind the missing self-respect and with the feds be handy.
I can't take it anymore. I just want to die.
Hero number 2, the Muslim who fights against Islamism by advocating for mixed gender prayers. It's Asra Nomani!
She is a Muslim feminist.
I'm a feminist, liberal Muslim. My own struggle against the idea of extremism within my faith community, began as a girl. Yeah.
You've actually borne the pain. I mean, let's get a little into your story. You were born in India. You lived in Pakistan. You were with a boyfriend there.
Yeah.
You got pregnant out of wedlock, and he left you.
Yeah.
Because, why? Because they always blame the woman.
because I saw inequity as a girl growing up within my community. I saw the boys did fewer chores. They got to enjoy society more.
Oh, poor boy. Oh, he had a little bit of a rough upbringing. Oh, and he's blaming everyone but himself.
No.
Oh, there. Don't worry, in England, no, nobody can touch you. Yeah? But now you got to use your mind. Stop this emotion claptrap.
Asra is what we call a cafeteria Muslim. No different than a cafeteria Christian, really. Now, generally, we don't care that much about cafeteria Muslims. You can do your thing, and I'll do mine. We'll find out if you happen to pick the right options out of your buffet when you die. The problem is when these sellouts are selected to testify in front of the US government. Take this hearing on March 5th, 2025 as an example. A year and a half into the conducted by but the US is concerned about anti-Semitism. This hearing includes no Muslim voice. Oh wait, no. Our hero Asra Nomani is there. I'm so excited to hear what she has to say.
Why I'm here today is because I have a deep and profound care for every sentiment expressed today about this war
on the people of Gaza, on the people of Gaza,
on the Jewish people.
Her entire victimhood story mainly revolves around one American journalist,
Daniel Pearl.
Danny Pearl.
You were the last person to talk to him, right?
And that was the day that a colleague of mine from the Wall Street Journal and a dear, dear friend, Danny Pearl, walked out of a home that I had rented in Karachi, Pakistan, and he went into a taxi and he never came back.
He was wrongly and unjustly unalived by Muslim radical jihadis. That became her life passion, even creating an organization in his name. Great! If you care so much about one journalist, I'm sure you should be completely outraged covering the largest massacre of journalists in world history. So let's see the hundreds of calls for justice from our hero Asra Nomani here about the radical extremists. Well, maybe if we type Gaza, we'll see some humanity. The only thing she seems to be attacking is... So this is the Churel who's testifying to the US government. You can imagine what her recommendations are going to be. Ban any organization critical of... Monitor Mehdi Hassan because he humiliates us too much. Designate CARE as a national security threat without actually naming CARE since she'd probably get sued.
So for 20 years, so many of us have been in the trenches trying to fight this scourge of extremism within my faith community of Islam.
Abe, auntie, you've never been in the trenches. You've been sipping tea at the enemy's headquarters. Anyway, good on the Pakistani guy for ditching this lousy sellout on time. Muslim hero number 3. Probably the most famous of them all. The failed British project, Maajid Nawaz! While I probably should dedicate the most time to this guy, honestly, this video is getting long. I'm just going to let this conversation here showcase why Maajid my boy is a hero. For some context, it looks like Maajid my boy shared some blasphemous Charlie Hebdo cartoons mocking the prophets of Islam on Twitter in the name of freedom. Here he is being questioned.
You're not going to sit there and say that you didn't expect people to be offended when you tweeted that cartoon.
Well, I think the point I was making was that I wasn't offended, Jeremy. Is it offensive to you that I tweeted that cartoon?
I find offensive about the cartoon that in Islam you don't normally depict the Prophet. When you do depict the Prophet, you don't depict him in bed with another Prophet. My problem, Maajid, is that as Mo pointed out, and as a lot of journalists don't point out, you have a long history of upsetting people in the Muslim community in a gratuitous manner. I think it was a mistake for people to go after you over the cartoons. I think they should have gone after you because your organisation for the past 6 years has demonised and tried to discredit mainstream Muslim organisations. For you to come along and say that you're this great dissenter and reformer now speaking out
I
against
didn't say
Muslims.
that.
You did in the film, and the reason
No,
invited you on here is to give that impression. There are people with actual grassroots support in the British Muslim community who are fighting for gender rights, who are fighting against extremism, who are fighting to have debates about issues. Maajid, sadly, with great respect, very intelligent guy, very articulate, doesn't speak for them. It has zero credibility in the Muslim community, is loathed by many Muslims because he goes around demonising mainstream Muslim organisations as supporters of Al-Qaeda. He goes around taking government money and parroting the government line on extremism. He goes around promoting ex-leaders of the EDL.
Yeah, I really couldn't have said this any better. Hero number 4, the only man pathetic enough to first kowtow to white nationalist neocons, only to migrate to India and kowtow to Hindu nationalists. The man ironically named Tarek Fatah.
A Muslim is essentially a Jew who has adapted Judaism to Arab pagan culture. What is Arab pagan culture? Arab pagan culture is Hinduism incorporated deeply into from India into the tribal tribe. I'll give you 2 simple examples. The Hindus do 7 pheras around the lingam, and what do? We do counterclockwise.
Stop it. Get some help.
Is there anything more that really needs to be said about these people? Their statements are absolutely no different than what an outright enemy of Islam would say. You can go through their social media and will never find anything positive to say about Muslims. When a Muslim becomes mayor of New York City, these sellouts are still whining and complaining. Well, the top 2 are. This guy is dead, so he'll find out if selling out was worth it or not. I don't really know what's going on with this guy. He seems to be acting pretty funny nowadays. Now, despite being clear sellouts, none of these clowns will claim they're ex-Muslim, because then they lose their reformer status.
So when many of my friends become ex-Muslim, what do they contribute to? Nothing. उसने कहा हम मैच खेल रहे गोलकीपर हम नहीं बनते, वो गोल हो जाता, वो क्राउड में जाके बैठ जाते. So they do nothing. If you want to change things, you'll have to be a Muslim before you can counter these guys.
These people aren't some well-intentioned idiots. They are sellouts of the 2000s. Nowadays, the sellouts look more like this. Now you might say, why should we care what these mid-2000s sellouts and these thobe-wearing chimpanzees have to say? They can yap all they want, but Muslims aren't buying their arguments. So who cares? The problem is, you may not know anyone who listens to these clowns, but the people who do listen to them are influencing the highest levels of the US government. These people are invited to speak at large-scale Western events, given platforms to voice their anti-Muslim garbage, and are even called upon by the US government to testify against the Muslim community to justify US policies against Muslims in America and abroad. Increased spying on Muslims in America? Zuhdi is there to kiss your Want to justify arresting Sami Hamdi for criticizing? Let's bring Asra Nomani to talk about her failed love life. Major decision makers of the world are not listening to your favorite sheikh. They're not listening to any TikTok user with millions of followers. They're not listening to dinky YouTube channels like mine. They're listening to these nutcases. And these charlatans end up affecting our lives. These Zayoda youths are the reason Muslim life will continue to be cheap. They are the lowest scum of the earth. Wherever you are in the Muslim world, there will be a Zayoda youth waiting for you. They'll speak to you in Hausa. You'll find them in the studios of Jakarta. They'll turn up from Dhaka. They'll dress like your favorite shuyukh. They'll start quoting from the Quran. They'll come from places you won't expect. Be careful, O Muslim. Just like how AI gets better and better as it learns and adapts, these Zayoda youths are adapting and getting better. This guy here may not necessarily be a sellout. Yet. He's just a jahil. But if you see him turn into some shill for MAGA in the future, coming on Fox News or Turning Point or whatever to profit and make a living, talking about the problem of the Muslim community he barely is a part of, if at all, then he would have successfully transitioned from jahil to munafiq. I'm not gonna cover the stuff he says and its responses, because plenty of others have already responded to his stupidity. Please like, share, and subscribe.